Hey guys, Jared here from GamerSlice, and this is my last video in my series of E3 coverage. And in this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts and impressions on Square Enix's E3 2015 press conference. So, anyways, the rest of my E3 coverage, I filmed or I recorded my commentary, from when E3 took place and within a week afterwards. But this one, I'm actually recording it like the same day that is going up. So this one I procrastinated on a long time. But anyways, so I was thinking like, okay, I could just read off my notes and record it that way. But I thought I better rewatch it. So I rewatched it yesterday actually, and I was gonna do the video yesterday, but I'm doing it today. But anyways, so let's get into it. So they opened up the press conference with a speech. He was kind of talking about how they're offering continued support, and he's like, "I hope that you guys can agree that we have made changes. We've been listening to the fans. We've been making it possible for all these great projects to happen, and like having faith in our developers and all that stuff." And they had a podium up there where the speaker was. But the speech was also, in my opinion, it was too long. He kind of, I don't know exactly how long he went on for, but it was probably about 4 or 5 minutes. So yeah, it was a little lengthy. And the podium, sometimes it works, sometimes it kind of seemed weird. I kind of like it better when they're just standing up there. But anyways, so yeah, the first game they showed was Just Cause 3. And they made a lot of substantial improvements to the game. Like, they have multiple tethers, which previously in Just Cause 2, the only way you could have multiple tethers, for grappling objects and stuff like that was if you had a mod and you were playing on the PC. So, anyways, they got the multiple tethers in the base version of the game, and they got like a wingsuit now, so it even speeds up the travel, and even with the parachute and everything, when you're grappling to the ground and trying to travel, it's all smoothed out and it feels more natural and it's more fluid. So yeah, this travel is, I think, one of the biggest improvements they've made to the game. But aside from that too, like some other stuff they did with the grapple, like you can now like constrict it now, so like you no longer have to to pull a statue down. You no longer have to like attach it to a car and then like a big vehicle and just boom and just power through to be able to pull it down. But you can just attach the grapple to the statue, attach another side of the tether to the ground, and and then constrict it, and then you can pull down the statue. Which to me it does seem kind of a little unrealistic, but still, I mean, I guess it makes it a little bit easier. So hopefully that challenge won't go away. I mean, it wasn't too challenging. You have to get into a car, but sometimes it was maybe a little bit tedious. But I don't know. I think it's fine. It should. I don't think it's really gonna help the game in a big way, at least that specific aspect. But there's also a new challenge system where like the previous challenges, you competed. There was races. There was like wingsuit, or not wingsuit, but parachute challenges and skydiving challenges and boat racing, all kinds of challenges like that. But now you can actually challenge your friends and like compete for the highest score and all that. So that's pretty cool. So then they announced a new title. It's not a new title really, but it's by Platinum Games. It's the next game in the Nier series. I don't know if it's like a reboot or if it actually is like a sequel to it or whatever. I never played any of the previous Nier games, but it's a PS4 exclusive. And the director for the game was wearing a weird moon alien head thing. I don't know. It was kind of laughing. I don't know if he was like really embarrassed and he didn't want to show. I don't know, or maybe he's got some physical deformity on his face. I don't know or maybe he was just trying to be comical or something like that. But anyways, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Kind of made me scratch my head and laugh a bit. But yeah. So anyways, then they showed some more Rise of the Tomb Raider stuff. And now that I'm mentioning Rise of the Tomb Raider, I will say this. A thing that really puzzled me about Square Enix is like all their heavy hitters, like their big titles that they had to announce, like Just Cause 3, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Hitman, and Deus Ex Human Revolution. And then of course there's some other stuff that I'll talk about later, like Kingdom Hearts 3. But anyways, and even the World of Final Fantasy thing, like they showed their other stuff, like Just Cause 3. I guess I don't know if they showed it anywhere else. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but. Anyways, like Rise of the Tomb Raider, they had it Microsoft's thing. Hitman, they had it PlayStation thing. They had all this stuff, and then they had World of Final Fantasy there too, and all that stuff. So basically, the only thing they really had to show that was really there. It's like because they wasted their titles showing them at these other conferences instead of having it exclusively at their conference, which kind of puzzled me. I guess I can kind of see the the Tomb Raider one, since it's going to be an Xbox One timed exclusive. And since I am making this video late, I will say that just recently, within the last few days, there was an announcement that it is a timed exclusive for the Xbox One, and it will be coming out to PC early next year, and it'll be coming out to PS4. It's a year timed exclusive, so it'll be coming out holiday 2016 to the PlayStation 4. But yeah, so it kind of is weird. Like, I mean, at least they had Deus Ex and some more stuff to show on Just Cause 3, and then Kingdom Hearts 3. But that's really the only big things, they had to show that were exclusively at their conference. So because of that, I think that kind of hurts, their conference, their performance. So, anyways, but Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's releasing November 10th, and they talked a lot about, the designing Lara Croft and the fibers on the clothing and pores on the skin. So they went into detail about that, and I gotta say, because of all this stuff and just from what I'm seeing, like, this is probably going to be, this is what we were expecting from this generation of consoles, graphics wise. So this will be a really good, probably could be one of the best looking games of this year. But anyways, and they're putting the tombs back in Tomb Raider, so it's actually going to be the full Tomb Raider experience. It seems like pretty much all the game, it is like she's actually, venturing out on herself. But there are still some survival elements of it that I noticed, which is, I'm liking what I'm seeing from that. And then they said, they also, along the lines of Lara Croft, they have Lara Croft Go for the mobile devices. And it's very much like Hitman Go, turn-based and all that stuff. And it's got like a pastel art style or whatever. And it's also designed, Lara Croft's character is designed around, the Lara Croft from, previous, like, older games. So, she's much later into her career. So anyways, but that looks kind of cool. Kingdom Hearts 3, or not Kingdom Hearts 3, not yet, but they announced, like, Kingdom Hearts director, but they talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake. They announced that they are making the remake. It's going to be a PS4 timed exclusive. But the funny thing is when the guy came out to announce it, they didn't have, like, he was speaking in Japanese, and they had no translator, so I have no clue what he said. But all I know is they were announcing that they were doing a Final Fantasy VII remake, which, that's big news, but they announced that at PlayStation already. So then also along the lines of Final Fantasy, there was the, I think it was at last E3 or PlayStation Experience or something, they announced for PS4 and all that stuff, they were doing like a Final Fantasy VII thing, but it wasn't like the remake that everybody wanted. It was just like basically Final Fantasy VII ported over to the PS4 and whatever. But it's coming to PS4 and iOS. It's coming iOS this summer, and PS4 it's going to be later this winter. And then there was Kingdom Hearts Unchained for smartphones or whatever, and it's going to get a North America release. And previously it was only Japan, but now it's going to get a North American release as well. So I don't know. I'm not much of a Kingdom Hearts fan. I guess it's okay. That one didn't look too interesting. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 actually is something that I would play. Like, I mean, I wouldn't go out. I'm not a big fan of it, and I wouldn't actually probably buy it. But like, if somebody gave it to me to play, like, I'd play it. But like, the Kingdom Hearts, like, Unchained, it's a mobile game, and plus it looked less intriguing than Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, even if I had it for free, I would just never spend time to play it. But anyways, they also announced World of Final Fantasy coming 2016, which they also announced that at PlayStation Experience, or not PlayStation's E3, Sony's E3 press conference. But so then next up, they talked about Hitman, and there's the whole thing, with targets appear for a limited time in the world, and once they're gone, they're gone. And before I was thinking it was all just something exclusively in your single player experience, but after like watching this conference, because this is like the second time I watched this conference, plus I watched another like interview with it before, but this time I listened very carefully, and it sounds almost like it's going to be like a multiplayer thing, like maybe like the target's going to appear in like one setting, and like players have to actually compete to get to the target first and kill him first or something like that. Before I thought it was purely single player, but there's some stuff he said that made it sound like he like the Hitman community coming together and all that stuff. Like maybe it's going to be kind of part of the contracts mode actually. But anyways, so the game's coming out December 8th, and it's based around that more around the open sandbox, and of course there's going to be the digital copy is when that what's coming December 8th. but later on they're going to be releasing a disc-based version of the game. And as I said in my Sony recap video, I'm not sure if that's going to be like once they get, because they're constantly going to be updating the game and adding new contracts and content to the game. So maybe like, and it's all free, it's for your $60 price. So maybe once they get all that out and they stop, adding stuff to the game, then that's probably when the disc version is going to come out. It's going to have everything all in one package. So I'll definitely wait for that, because one, it's a disc-based version, so it's going to take up less space on my PlayStation. And plus then I'm not gonna pre-order something like that, especially since it's like, okay, is there gonna be enough content right off the bat? Because they said they're gonna constantly be updating, like, yeah. So I don't know. It seems like maybe there's not gonna be enough content on release, but we'll have to see. So then they have, we're talking about Hitman Sniper and Hitman Triad Wars. Actually, they just had a trailer for it, but Hitman Sniper looks pretty cool. And then Triad Wars I don't really know anything about it. It was pretty much just all completely cinematic. But yeah, anyways, it's based in the world of sleeping dogs, and yeah, it's a mobile game based off that. In fact, I think it actually is like the same model of Hong Kong, because like I recognized a lot of locations in there that like seem to look exactly the same as they did in Sleeping Dogs. Okay, quick note here. While looking into Triad Wars to be able to find some video clips of it for this video, it turns out it is not a mobile game. I assumed it was a mobile game because they kind of grouped it in with Hitman Sniper, which is. But anyways, it turns out it's actually a full-fledged, like, it's a PC-only title, and it's like online. It's competitive. So it's kind of got like, I don't know if it has a single player element, but it's like in an open world area, and you can like compete with other players, and it's purely like the Triad element of it this time. No undercover cop stuff, and you like build your own Triad and set up your own rackets and stuff. So it actually looks pretty neat. I'm not exactly sure when they're planning on releasing it, but I'll keep my eye on it. And they said something about 2 years later, so when the game will be finished maybe. So, if that's the case, I'll definitely have a PC by then, and maybe I'll give it a try. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. So keep your eye out for that. Then they talk about Star Ocean, which it's I guess they're not calling it Star Ocean 5, but it's a 5th game. It's called Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. So that's coming out as a PS4 exclusive to North America and Europe in 2016, and it's be a 2015 release for Japan. The game also, what they showed there was running in 30 FPS, but there's a target of 60 FPS for the final version. So that's good that they're shooting for that. And then not the last thing, but the last like big thing that they had was Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. So anyways, it takes place in 2029, and yeah, it's interesting because like things have escalated from Deus Ex: Human Revolution, and the AUGs, augmented people, are being discriminated against even more, and they're being treated as terrorists or whatever. So Adam Jensen, he's kind of like, he's working to stop these terrorist attacks and stuff, but he's also being a double agent behind the organization that kind of has hired him to do that, and he believes that they've set it up for their own ulterior motives. So he's trying to shut them down. But anyways, like the main enemy, I guess, that you're facing is like the Illuminati. So they're kind of the enemy threat in the game. And the other cool thing about the game is, just like Deus Ex Human Revolution and all that stuff, the story is very much driven by your actions, and this time even more so. So there's a dynamic story to the game. I don't know, in Human Revolution, it seems like maybe the only big differences in the story were kind of like the ending, but this one seems to have a dynamic story with branching paths and important decisions that take place throughout the entirety of the game, not just at the end. So anyways, and then yeah, that's getting an early 2016 release. So I'm actually kind of excited for the game, and the gameplay looks good, and graphics look pretty good too. So the last thing they announced was they called it Project Setsuna, and it's a JRPG. So also I should mention Star Ocean is also a JRPG. But anyways, Project Setsuna, all they really have right now is like concept art for the game. But it looks like a pretty interesting world, and you'll have to stay tuned for more stuff about that. But at the end, also they said that they're trying to develop these more great games for every viable platform. So that's one thing when I rewatched it, I caught this statement. And to me, basically what that means is they are going to be making games for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. That's what it tells me, because the Wii U has like no third-party support. So yeah, I mean they're not going to be making any games for that. Like when was the last time a AAA game that's not a Nintendo first-party title ever came to the Wii U? I don't know. I think it might have been like one of the Assassin's Creeds or something back like last year or something. Yeah, but pretty much at that point, like the Wii U has no third-party support. So, anyways, I guess right now, since we got to the end of this video, and I've shared my thoughts about all the conferences so far, I guess at the end of this I will just kind of share who I thought won E3. I think Bethesda clearly won E3. They had the Fallout 4 reveal and Doom and all that cool stuff, and Dishonored 2. It was near perfect. And just the presentation and everything, like, it flowed really well. There was no technical issues. Nobody was like super nervous or whatever, and they presented it well, and there were no mishaps. So yeah, great presentation, great games, and they were very thorough. And also, I've heard rumors that this may be Bethesda's last conference. I don't think it'll be their last conference ever, but like, I don't expect them to do another conference until they have something big, like maybe 3 or 4 years from now, where they have like maybe another Elder Scrolls game, or something really big like that to announce, as well as several other big titles as well. But I don't expect them to do it every other year anyway. So. But anyways, yeah, below that, I would say Sony and Microsoft. I think Sony and may have been a little bit ahead of Microsoft, but they were pretty much equal. And then I would say Ubisoft was next. After that, I don't know. I would say it's probably EA and Square Enix. They both had some questionable things, but yes, I would say they're about even too. Square Enix, I would give. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think I would say, EA and Square Enix, they're kind of relatable in what they did to some extent, because, as I said in my EA video, they, kind of just at the very beginning, they're like, we're going to show this game, we're going to show this game, we're going to show this game, and they took whatever surprise was left in the conference, they took that all away by basically telling you, like, this is exactly what we're going to show. So anyways, and then, as I said, Square Enix kind of like wasted a lot of their big titles and showed them at other people's press conferences. So yeah, it kind of takes some of the glory away from them. But yeah, so they're definitely relatable in that way. But I think Square Enix might have been a little bit worse. I would probably give them, I would say a B-, but I would say a C+, purely because they did that. And to me, like, for me personally, like, all that was left really was a bunch of like the JRPGs and the stuff like that, and like only one of them. Well, I guess Star. It was like Star Ocean, I think Nier was, yeah, Star Ocean, Nier, and Kingdom Hearts 3. That was basically all they really had to show for it. Still, none of those games really intrigue me, but a lot of other people that are fans of that type of franchise, like, those would be like big games for them. But other than that, they kind of wasted it. But and then in last place, clearly Nintendo. I mean, it was kind of a disaster. But I don't know if it's the worst thing Nintendo does. It's the first year I've ever watched anything on Nintendo. But yeah, it wasn't so great. So that wraps it up for my thoughts and impressions on the Square Enix press conference, and kind of my rankings of all the other press conferences. So if you liked it, hit the like button. Be sure to check out some of the other videos on the channel and the other E3 coverage if you haven't already. Also, tell me what you thought in the comments section, and maybe subscribe to the channel. So anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, I will hope to see you guys in the next video.